and thank you for joining us for NTA Nationwide. I am Elizabeth Banu. President Muhammadu Buhari has directed security agencies in the country to do whatever it takes towards effectively securing the country and preserving her unity. The president gave the marching order at a strategic meeting on national security with the top echelon of the nation's security apparatus. Chief of Defense Staff General Gabriel Olonisaki, who briefed the State House correspondents after the meeting, said nothing will be left to chance in executing the president's directives.
I must say that in his address, he talked about the unity of the nation, and which is non-negotiable. And the military has been fully instructed to ensure that that directive is carried out to the letter. All the security threats were treated one after the other, ranging from the terrorism to kidnapping, to herdsmen farmers, to the IPOP issue. All were treated, and comments were made as to what and to do as to those issues.
The National Cash Transfer Office, with support from the World Bank, has developed a national framework reflecting key national priorities and desired outcomes in the areas of human capital formation and productive inclusion. Kolo Mohammed reports that the National Cash Transfer Office and the World Bank engaged the Rapid Result Institute for guidance and to facilitate the development of an operational manual.
Is said to be the most developed in Africa and has one of the fastest growing rates in the world currently, which explains why the number of people living in poverty in Nigeria is unacceptable. Government therefore came up with different policies and programs to eradicate poverty, one of which is the conditional cash transfer targeting the most vulnerable.
You and I will agree that 5,000 alone cannot elevate people from poverty, except their capacity is enhanced to begin to invest in assets and establish livelihoods. And that is what we will be doing from now.
So the manual covers the entire program. It speaks to how you select the beneficiaries or how they are selected, and right to the point where they get the payment.
The pilot scheme took place in Kogi State, and part of the resolution of the national framework document is to scale up the approach, especially the commitment on the part of the beneficiaries in order to earn a top-up from the extra funds provided by the World Bank.
The pilot state, and it has gone down to the common man of having these benefits, and all that it makes is to have this, what we are doing today.
Going forward, more states are expected to key into the program. In Abuja, Kolo Mohammed, NTA News.
The West African Road Safety Organization, WASO, has commended Nigeria over her advancement in information technology with greater focus on road safety management and capacity building. The WASO president, Mamadou Kamota, who gave the commendation during his familiarization tour to Federal Road Safety Corps headquarters in Abuja, said countries across the region are in no small measure taking a cue from Nigeria. Timothy Yusuf has the report.
A negative impact of road traffic crashes on development is believed by many to be devastating, hence the need for countries to collaborate towards tackling the menace. The president of West African Road Safety Organization, WASO, Mamadou Kamota, said this is among the reasons for meeting with leadership of road safety management across countries in the sub-region. The president commended Nigerian government over facilities put in place to sustaining achievements recorded on road safety and seeks for assistance that will help WASO fulfill its mandate.
We also show our appreciation to the Nigerian government.
Pour l'effort que le Nigeria déploie dans la sous-région.
Efforts Nigeria has put in to ensure that the road safety
et à travers toute l'Afrique.
That is number one in Africa.
FRSC Corps Marshal Boboyo Oyeyemi, who is the immediate past president of the organization, said Nigeria's resolve to tackle road safety challenges remains total and promised the country's commitment to extending technical support to member countries in WASO.
The rest assured of the support of Nigeria through the Federal Safety Corps. and we continue to support the Secretariat. Our own focus is to ensure that as much as possible the crashes we reduce, we take actions that will lead to reduction of road traffic crashes in the region.
The commercial adds that Nigeria believes strongly in WASO plans, which geared towards promoting and reinforcing road safety in the region. Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
And the Federal Capital Territory Administration will dualize and complete the B6 and B12 roads, otherwise known as Constitution and Independence Avenues in the nation's capital. This was made known during an inspection of road projects, and Mitare Ikpen reports.
The Constitution and Independence Avenues, which traverse the National Stadium, World Trade Center, Diplomatic and Three Arms zones in Abuja, are road projects revived by the present FCT administration, which mobilized contractors back to site 2 years ago. With the opening of some bridges and segments of the Constitution Avenue, motorists coming from the airport can now drive beside the church gate and ICPC buildings into the city center without previous diversions.
It wasn't a straight road, but now that they have opened this place, it makes the road straight away to where we are going.
At least it's easing the traffic. So we thank the government that they should continue doing it.
The FCT minister says the road projects will boost economic activities in the nation's capital and will eventually be dualized.
If you look at this road network, it's basically one-way traffic. But by December, based on what the contractors have now told us, we'll be able to have double flow. Obviously, some of the massive bridge works and drainage systems that are being done cannot be completed this year. So that becomes our milestone for next year.
According to the contractor, while the remaining portions of the Constitution Avenue will be completed in December this year, the entire Independence Avenue will be delivered in 2 years' time. In Abuja, Mitare Ikpen, NTA News.
Now, physical appearance has nothing to do with attaining excellence. This is the case of a 22-year-old Esther Eje, who is among the undergraduates that benefited from the Sustainable Development Goals Female Special Scholarship Program Board in Abuja. Olainka Ojo reports that the scholarship has beneficiaries from the 36 states of the Federation and the FCT.
In Africa, it has been observed that the education of the girl child is relegated to the background and has not been given due attention compared with their male counterparts. However, things are changing for better. For Esther Eje, a 200-level student studying special education at the University of Jos, her present state is no barrier as she has been able to attain a CGPA of over 4.0, the criteria for being awarded the scholarship.
I'm so happy for this award because I never expected that it would come my way.
Aimed at achieving gender equality and empowerment for women and girls, the SDG's Special Female Scholarship will promote sustained female enrollment in tertiary institutions, largely for those in the states identified as educationally disadvantaged.
More girls are now in school compared to 15 years ago, and some states have reached or can be said to reach parity in primary education.
By the year 2020, we would have graduated 75 university graduates, girls.
The program, which started in 2015, is strategic for the sustainability of the country's progress made under the Millennium Development Goals 3. In Abuja, Olainka Ojo, NTA News.
And Ogun State Governor Ibikunle Amosun has challenged Nigerian youths to engage in skills acquisition to prepare for leadership responsibilities. The governor gave the challenge while hosting 161 participants of the state's 2017 summer camp at the Government House at Abeokuta. Lekon Agbonde has details.
The 2017 Ogun State Summer Camp, which is the second edition, has 161 students from various public and private secondary schools across the state. The governor received them on their way from an endurance walk from Akeolubade area of Abeokuta to the Government House. He commended them for the good attitude displayed since the 2 weeks summer camp opened.
Even the way you relate to people, development, social and economy, it is when you have all of those that you can lead us well. And that is why we make it a point of duty to make sure that you are well groomed.
Fun, knowledge, and life skills. And that's what we focus on. The fun part is first, because even with the knowledge, we pass knowledge through fun. The life skills are also passed through fun.
To learn in class, but we also teach them life skills, and I'm very happy. You can see that the children are very comported, very organized and very well groomed.
Some of the participants speak on their experience at the camp.
We have coaches like Comrade who came to teach us about leadership. We have coaches who came to teach us about dining manners.
They taught us maths game, which is raised to infinity, and Mrs. Fash taught us different type of things about manners, discipline, and different type of things.
The senator representing the Ogun West Senatorial District of the state, Senator Bolanwo Dada, speaks on the need for corporate organizations and individuals to support the government in such laudable idea because of its importance to learning. Lekon Agbonde, NTA News.
Kano State government has launched 1,000 sanitation vanguard for health workers to facilitate the eradication of communicable diseases, especially malaria, in Kano State. Momso Damien Ati reports.
In addition to the 1,000 sanitation vanguards, 2,458 healthcare workers were inaugurated and will be deployed to public healthcare facilities across the state. 230 tricycles were also distributed to empower unemployed Kano youths and physically challenged. Most significant is the test run and launch of motorized mosquito fumigation machines to curb the menace of mosquitoes resulting to incessant malaria cases.
Also, we have healthcare workers employed by Kano State. Some will work in our hospital, management board, primary health care. Some are medical doctors, some are nurses, some are pharmacists, physiotherapists, and some are specialists in our laboratories.
Beneficiaries were selected from all parts of Kano State with optimism from government that the empowerment program will positively impact on socio-economic and political development of the state. Momso Damien Ati, NTA News.
Just a reminder that you can watch this news live online via the NTA mobile app, which you can download on your Android device at the Google Play Store or at the Apple Store if you use devices with iOS. You're watching NTA Nationwide. The image maker of the federal government is in Lagos, charting a way forward for improved broadcasting. Demola in Lagos is taking us through this and other reports. It's over to you, Demola.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Good afternoon and a warm welcome to Lagos. The Federal Ministry of Information will hold a conference on audience measurement in October this year as a step towards finding a medium-term solution that will propel investment into broadcasting market. Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed announced this in Lagos while declaring open the third International Summit on Digital Broadcasting in Nigeria. Anthony Forson reports.
With all the efforts put in by the federal government in a long-term plan for the ongoing digital switchover to succeed, the Information and Culture Minister, Lai Mohammed, says there is the need for a medium-term solution which will build confidence in advertisers.
The lack of a scientific audience measurement system has resulted in underinvestment in the sector, an investment which is necessary to foster the growth of the industry, as the advertising community continues to rely on subjective factors when making decisions on the content they want, as opposed to how many viewers the content truly attracts.
The creative industry, on the other hand, which relies solely on sponsorship, the minister said, will equally get a fair deal.
The federal government has already taken a critical long-term decision to support the Nigerian creative and entertainment industry by ensuring and funding the inclusion of a middleware that is capable of scientific audience.
In specific terms, the minister said a situation where Nigeria made $81 million in 2016 against South Africa and Kenya's $343 million each is unacceptable. Chairman Broadcasting Organizations of Nigeria, John Momo, who was represented by the organization's vice chairman, Sa'ar Ibrahim, chronicled efforts being made by the organization and the need for government support.
Government action will also impact on the policy on mass media broadcasting in Nigeria.
The summit is designed for stakeholders to come together to aggregate issues of the industry and the way forward.
Last year when the President, Muhammadu Buhari, addressed the United Nations, he said, Nigeria is determined to create a national digital economy. We want to leverage upon the realities of this new technology. This government is keeping its promise that Nigeria will go digital.
In a country like Nigeria with different tribes, different culture, different beliefs, the only medium you can now do is with the digital technology. NTA is one of the major players on the platform of ITS.
This conference is critical to allow us to exchange views on these issues. All the role players, government, platform operators, broadcasters, regulators, advertisers, come together to speak of these issues.
We are going to go back to our zones and our roads, our stations and industry to be able to grow, especially the content area of this business.
Nigeria's digital switchover journey after the just takeoff has remained on a steady path, with sister African countries asking for Nigeria's support. In Lagos, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
The need to encourage women to acquire Islamic knowledge with a view to promoting moral values in the family was demonstrated at a one-day Islamic gathering organized by Nasrullahi Feti Society of Nigeria, NASFAT. Musa Toliat reports that the program, with the theme, "There is no help except from Allah," is the culmination of a one-week event by NASFAT Women Affairs Committee.
NASFAT women came from all walks of life to acquire knowledge on God consciousness and their role in promoting religious tolerance, peaceful coexistence, and responsible parenthood. Guest lecturer Imam Abdulsalam Abdulatif, who spoke on the theme of the event, said, seeking help from other sources than Allah has remained the bane of proper child upbringing, which has negative impact on the society.
The core of the message is that as Muslims should be steadfast. If they are sincere with their family, with their husbands, and they are not only a task getter, not seeking for help from nowhere, the children will also grow on that platform, and then we are going to have a good society. Deputy Governor of Lagos State, Idiat Adebule, who was represented, urged Islamic organizations to place more emphasis on empowerment programs for widows and girl child education.
We wish to charge you to do more. Take up our responsibility as mothers, wives, sisters.
President NASFAT Worldwide, Camille Bolaniwa, and the Secretary National Women Affairs Committee, Samiat Mumoni, were unanimous in their call for women to exhibit high moral standards capable of inspiring uprightness among Nigerian youths.
When you are touching other people's life, you are serving Allah. When you sit down to train your children to be upright citizens, you are serving Allah.
The week is meant to assist the needy, the economic disadvantaged, to help women generally.
The session, to boost the spirituality of the women, heralded the NASFAT Women Affairs Program. In Lagos, Musa Toliad, NTA News.
The Lagos State government says it will take stringent measures against boat operators who neglect standardized safety rules and regulations. The managing director of the State Waterways Authority, LASWA, Abisola Kamson, said this following the boat mishap at Oriade in Ojo area of Lagos, where 12 persons lost their lives. Nosa Osula reports.
Struck in Ilashe area of Lagos State on Sunday, the 20th of August, when a boat conveying 19 passengers capsized, killing 12 persons while 4 were rescued. According to reports, the tragedy occurred at about 3 p.m., with passengers, mainly traders and locals, who daily commute on boats, affected. While commiserating with the families of those that lost their loved ones, the managing director of LASWA reiterated the commitment of the Akilmi Ambode-led administration to continue to improve on safety on the state's waterways.
The state's motto is to say that all state-owned jetties, we have what we call the water guard corps, and they actually deploy to those areas to ensure that all operations and activities at that location are in compliance with, with the guidance and the standards.
The Chief Executive Officer, Lagos State Ferry Services Corporation, Kalejaye Paul, enjoined residents to always request for standard life jackets from boat operators before embarking on any journey on the waterways.
The right to live is the right of everyone. Secondary responsibility lies with government. It lies with the community, it lies with the environment. So if you ensure safety on your own, you have guaranteed yourself life.
The state government affirmed its commitment to aggressively campaign and enforce safety and operational guidelines for boat operators to stem boat accidents in the future. In Lagos, Nusa Usula, NTA News.
Well, that does it from Lagos. It's back to you, Elizabeth, for more on Nationwide. Good afternoon.
Thank you, Demola. Now, the All Progressives Congress, APC, has inaugurated a 7-member election and appeals committee ahead of the August 26 governorship primaries in Anambra State. National Organizing Secretary of the APC, Osita Izunaso, challenged members of the committee to build on the party's foundation of peaceful conduct of primary elections for the overall interest of the party. Saliu Abdullahi reports.
APC leaders and party supporters in their hundreds marched to Kaduna Government House in solidarity with President Muhammadu Buhari's commitment to keep the country united. The chairman of the party in the state, Alhaji Shitu, said President broadcast to the nation has reassured Nigerians that all hope is not lost, as the president is doing everything possible to reposition the country. He noted that the president's speech was a vindication of the position of the APC manifesto, which guarantees rights to citizens to live in any part of the country. Other speakers said the home-based support of the party to President Muhammadu Buhari is as a result of his outstanding leadership qualities and performances in fighting insurgency, anti-corruption crusade, and fixing power sector, among other achievements. Governor Aminu Bello Masari said Kaduna State is lucky to produce a leader by excellence in President Muhammadu Buhari.
This is the only president that has never shown any preference for any one particular state than the other. He has been a leader. This is what we want in this country, leaders, not big men. Big men are all over the place.
The delegation also paid a similar visit to the palace of the Emir of Kaduna, Alhaji Arumin Kabir Usman. The Emir called on Nigerians to continue to support President Buhari in his task of rebuilding the nation, and also prayed Allah to grant him good health. In Kaduna, Aminu Ishaq Abbas, NTA News.
Aminu Ishaq Abbas on a solidarity rally for President Muhammadu Buhari. While people from all walks of life took to the streets of Ado-Ekiti, Ekiti State, offering thanks to God for healing President Muhammadu Buhari, they also demonstrated their solidarity for the APC-led government. Ayodeji Ogunshaki reports.
The arrival of the president to the country on Saturday was greeted with wide jubilations. In Ekiti State, civil society organizations, artisans, members and supporters of the All Progressive Congress APC in the state took to the major streets in the state capital in solidarity with the #1 citizen. With banners and placards with different inscriptions, the jubilating crowd moved from Okeimi area and rode Old Garage, Ijibo, and terminated the procession at the state secretariat of the party at Ajilosun.
We are fully on ground in support of our president.
His return, we usher in a lot of progressive decisions. Ekiti people are solidly behind the president of this country.
And we know surely that God has proven himself that he is beyond what human being could imagine.
Party chieftains appreciated loyalists for their confidence in the party. In Ado-Ekiti, Ayodeji Ogunshaki, NTA News.
More on solidarity rallies for President Muhammadu Buhari. The development strides being enjoyed by the Southeast region from the present administration is overwhelming and engaging. Youth from the region said this, among other reasons, informed the rally in support of President Muhammadu Buhari's development agenda. Adebola Brooks-Lynn Sunday reports.
The youths converged on one of the entry points to the presidential villa, carrying placards with different inscriptions.
We will thank God for bringing back the people's president.
Leader of the coalition read out their message for the president. to the Special Assistant to President Buhari on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina.
We have come to say, indeed, this father of the nation, this man who has given Nigeria a good name in the international community, this man who is fighting corruption in the country, this man who has upped our agricultural produce, this man who has stabilized the foreign exchange, this man who is on the go to try to revitalize most of the bond infrastructure that we have in the southeast. I'm aware of that.
The southeast road was bad, very bad. That most times, even if I go home, I had to use some routes, community routes, to get to Aba. The administration of Muhammadu Buhari has set in motion the fixing of that road. And the works are being done. Not only works, quality work, they are expanding the road.
The youth of the Southeast have come. The youth is the future of any place, and they have come to identify with the president. Roads in that region will be fixed. The second Niger bridge will be built. Security will be provided. All that the region requires, the president will do. He has said any Nigerian can live and practice and do his business in any part of the country. And you know, our president is not given to loose talks. Whatever he says, he does.
The coalition is made up of Igbo groups within and outside Nigeria. Adebola, Brooklyn Sunday, NTA News.
The Buhari Media Support Group, BSMG, has cautioned the former aviation minister, Femi Fani-Kayode, on his unpatriotic call on President Muhammadu Buhari to resign. A statement issued by the chairman of the group, Austin Brymo, and the secretary, Cassidy Madueke, condemned the call, describing it as capable of causing division among various ethnic groups in the country. The divisive write-ups and utterances of Fani-Kayode, the group observed, have done great harm to the country, especially at a time the president just returned from a medical trip and making public statements to ensure peaceful coexistence and addressing other critical issues of development. The Buhari Media Support Group therefore urged Nigerians of good conscience to disregard the utterances of such individuals, as the president is focused on working for the generality of Nigerians. The high rate of bribery in the country has been attributed to cultural practices and loss of some national values. The assertion was made by guests on NTA's Good Morning Nigeria program. Gufan Shaji reports.
The damning survey report on bribery in Nigeria released last week, guests on Good Morning Nigeria described the menace as pandemic, inefficient service delivery, system failure and impatience. They say are some of the factors that encourage bribery.
It's actually when we experience service failures, when these processes, when the standards, when the commitments in all of these service charters are not delivered as it should, that is when you have incidents of service failure. And then corruption and bribery thrives when you have incidents of service failure.
If you have a system that runs seamlessly, people will understand that that system run seamlessly and that people will not want to circumvent the system.
Reorientation and core national values, with the family unit taking the lead, are some of the remedies the guests say will reverse the trend.
We have to first and foremost go back to the family. I think there is something inherently wrong in our socialization process. First and foremost, socialization is a process where the young ones are instilled with the right and acceptable values of the society. Over the years, we suffer from moral relativism, where parents have become lax. They have not been telling the young ones that this thing is right, this thing is wrong.
The guests are also of the view that extending the whistleblower policy to bribery and increased effort from the nation's criminal justice system on bribery cases will also assist in addressing the issue. In Abuja, Gufan Shaji, NTA News.
We earlier told you that the All Progressives Congress, APC, has inaugurated a 7-member election and appeals committee ahead of the August 26 governorship primaries in Anambra State. National Organizing Secretary of the APC, Osita Izunaso, challenged members of the committee to build on the party's foundation of peaceful conduct of primary elections for the overall interest of the party. Here now is Saliu Abdullahi with the report.
The operation of the two committees is coming on the heels of the governorship election in Anambra State, where the party hopes to seize power from the All Progressive Grand Alliance, ABGA. Governor of Borno State, Kashim Shettima, heads the 4-member election committee, while former Works Minister Hassan Lawan heads the 3-member appeals committee. APC National Organizing Secretary Osita Izunaso believes the track records and ability of the members will translate APC's core values in electoral matters.
We expect that you accredit the delegates with proper accreditation format, namely the national identity card, international passport, PVC, ANEC PVC, as well as driver's license.
Governor Kashim Shettima, on behalf of members, pledged level playing ground for the aspirants and delegates for a transparent and peaceful exercise come 26th August in Awka. He acknowledged the importance of Anambra governorship election to the party, being the first in series of elections.
That we shall do whatever it takes to ensure that a live coverage is given to the whole activities. And those candidates that believe in the supremacy of one man, one vote will, at the end of the day, smile their way.
12 aspirants, including a woman, have been cleared to contest for the ticket of the party for the governorship election in Anambra State. In Abuja, Salihu Abdullahi, NTA News.
You're watching NTA Nationwide. We now take a break to bring you some messages. We'll be back in just a moment. Stay with us.
Hate speech is not a joke. It incites genocide and crimes against humanity. Most of Africa's civil wars are caused by hate speech from one tribe against another. We don't want it here. The Nigerian government stands firm against hate speech.
Under no conditions whatsoever should we tolerate or excuse or justify hate speech or hateful conduct of any kind, especially where such is illegal.
There's no doubt that the resurgent push for separatism, as well as the rising cases of ethnic and religious disharmony, are all traceable to the growing phenomenon of hate speech.
One nation bound in freedom.
Nigeria, one nation, one people.
This is a public service announcement brought to you by NTA.
The presidential broadcast and roadmap to Nigeria's economy, security and unity, all on NTA Tuesday Live tonight. It promises to be exciting, incisive and educating. Tuesday Live, a must-watch. Join us.
National Council for Arts and Culture Abuja presents 10th African Arts Crafts Expo, AFAC Expo 2017, the biggest arts and crafts expo in Africa. Theme, Nigerian crafts, the untapped treasure. Date, 27th August to 17th September 2017. Venue, Arts and Crafts Village, beside Sheraton Hotel and Yaradua Center, Abuja. Time, 9 a.m. daily. AFAC presents a unique platform for artists, crafts dealers, manufacturers and other stakeholders to buy, sell and promote products from Nigeria and other African countries. For more information, please call Chiwe on 0803-321-7724, Gerald on 0802-3345-301. National Council for Arts and Culture, our culture, our pride. Otumba Olusegun Ronshewe, Director General, Announcer.
Get high on books, not drugs. Only those who hate themselves fill their bodies with smoke, drugs, and harmful substances.
He broke my heart.
These days, when young lady or young man has emotional upheavals, he or she abuses cough syrup with codeine, some sniff glue, sewage, even petrol.
I'm already finished. Just let me finish myself completely.
Alas, Where is our tomorrow headed? This week on Professor John Bull, we introduce to you high people, all of them, one by one. Find out why Jumoke wasted her school fees and why Flash went local.
Come on, stay one place.
Over and out.
Brought to you by Glow.
The largest data network, Glow Unlimited.
Reorganized, trained, and fully equipped, we are the new improved Nigeria Police Force. We fight crime, we bust syndicates. Whatever the crime, wherever the hideout, the Nigeria Police Force will get you busted. Stop kidnapping, armed robbery, murder, pipeline vandalism, and other criminal activities. Be productive. Be security conscious. Join the police force to secure your life and property. This message is from the Nigeria Police Force Public Relations Department.
Experience the beauty of life and nature like never before. With the new StarTimes Full HD 1080p Real High Definition TV. Enjoy an exquisite super slim design with a real surround sound experience. Watch the biggest blockbusters on over 200 plus channels. Available in 32 and 40 inches from 69,900 Naira at leading shopping outlets across the country. StarTimes. Enjoy digital life.
Thank you for staying with us on NTA Nationwide. Now, just the home of peace and tourism is where we go next, and Ruth brings us up to speed with developments there. It's over to you, Ruth.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Good evening and welcome to Jos. Governor Simon Lalong has appealed to residents whose houses will be affected by the ongoing road construction along Tudunwada-Mado Road and Angwan Rogo to be patient, as their compensation has been captured in the contractual documents and will soon be paid. The governor stated this when he paid an unscheduled visit to assess the progress of work on the road. Paul Dama reports.
The governor's first point of call was the Tudunwada-Mado Road, linking the satellite market at Gadabu, where he was briefed on the level of work. He explained that part of the delay in the execution of the project is the heavy rains and the issue of compensation, which will soon be taken care of.
All the compensation are all built up in the contract. So those whose house are already earmarked should be patient. We are going to pay them. The road is for their benefit. There is no way we can construct road here without paying people compensation for their houses that are going to be demolished. And I have seen it today myself, and we will look into it immediately so that the work will also be completed immediately.
The governor from there proceeded to Ali Kazore to inspect the bridge linking the area to Angwan Rogo, where he was received amidst cheers by residents who urged him to continue with his people-oriented programs. Governor Lalong, while addressing residents of Angwan Rogo, said, contrary to allegations that the contractors have abandoned their sites, the reverse is the case, which is evident by the progress of work. The governor said he will be back in another 2 months to inspect the project. In Jos, Paul Dama, NTA News.
Worried by the high consumption rate of illicit drugs in Plateau State, NTA is partnering with the Plateau Command of the NDLEA to strategize on ways to tackle the menace. Ben Meet Network Center, Jos, Nuruddin Adeshina Idris, visited the command to strengthen the partnership.
The increase of youth and underage children engaged in the consumption of hard drugs is a major source of worry, requiring collaborative efforts of all key players at tackling this deadly trend. It was in this light that the acting zonal director led other management staff to seek ways in which the two agencies can work together to rescue the situation, which he said has assumed a dangerous stage.
We have our own role we play, and we must always make sure that we complement whatever efforts NDLE is putting in place.
Commander of the NDLEA, Plateau State Command, Ibrahim Braji, said the command is aware of the prevalent cases of drug abuse in Jos and has made tremendous successes in the area of drug supply and drug demand reduction.
The number of people that are listening to news over the television or over the radio are millions. And if one person succeeded in hearing the news, he can assist in communicating information to others.
The media, Mr. Braji acknowledged, remains indispensable in the fight against vices. As such, the visit is timely, as he pleaded for airtime on the NTA for aggressive enlightenment campaign against drug abuse. In Jos, Ben Mitu, NTA News.
And that's it from Jos. It's back to you, Elizabeth.
Thank you for your contributions from Jos, Ruth. Now, justice is to be served, and swiftly too, for two Nigerian pilgrims from Nasarawa State who were detained and maltreated by Saudi policemen at Medina Airport. This was made known by Deputy Governor of Medina, Dr. Wahib Al-Sahil, when he visited the victims. Ahmed Ambali reports.
This is the usual reception pilgrims arriving Medina receive. Imagine then the shock of Ibrahim Manage and Muhammad Audu, two pilgrims from Nasarawa State who on arrival in Medina last Wednesday were detained, harassed and injured by 4 Saudi security officials. If the officials expected to get off easily, the arrival of the Deputy Governor of Medina, Dr. Wahib Al-Sahil, in person at the Nasarawa Pilgrims Hotel put paid to that. The Deputy Governor came with a clear message. First, profound apologies to the Nigerian pilgrims and a reiteration of the Saudi government's zero tolerance to any act that undermined the safety and dignity of pilgrims.
We are here to once again express our apology to you for what has happened and to assure you that the kingdom will never allow such a thing to happen, and that the needed services and responsibilities on behalf of the kingdom shall continue to be upheld, and that to also inform you that all pilgrims are in our hearts.
As for the perpetrators of the act, Nigeria's Chargé d'Affaires, Ambassador Saliu Omar, says the Deputy Governor had been clear that they would not go unpunished.
We really appreciate the actions taken by the Saudi authorities in order to bring those people to book.
Meanwhile, Ibrahim's wounds are beginning to heal, even as he says he has forgiven the officers. Perhaps other overzealous officers would borrow a leaf from his forbearance and treat all with respect and honor they deserve during the Hajj and after. From Medina in Saudi Arabia, Ahmed Ambali, NTA News.
National Broadcasting Commission trains personnel on digitization. Fatai brings us details of this and more. Over to you, Fatai.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Good afternoon.
And good to have you with us in the Route of Television, Ibadan. The National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, has organized a capacity-building workshop to position its staff for optimal performance in the digital switchover era. Adebola Ogunlana reports that participants were drawn from Ibadan Zonal Center of the Commission.
Speakers at the workshop emphasized the roles and responsibilities of key players in the digital era, stressing the need for them to be adequately equipped with basic skills and knowledge for optimal performance.
Content will be different because 70% of content must be local content. We're going to open platforms for younger people in Nigeria to produce new generations of content for our TV.
The key players are the content provider, the signal distributors, the viewers, the listeners, and the set-top box manufacturers.
The workshop stressed the need for the stakeholders to get prepared, as the proposed switchover may mean 99% blackout for television viewers.
Technology keeps changing. There's the need also for our staff to get acquainted with those changes.
If anybody asks us any question on digitization, we will be able to tell them.
The NBC is the agency saddled with the responsibility of driving their transition, which explains the need for such capacity building for its workers. In Ibadan, Adebola Ogunlana, NTA News.
And talking food security, stakeholders in agribusiness have stressed the need for government to popularize the modern trend of technology in vertical farming as against the conventional method for food sufficiency. In this report, correspondent Abdul Rahuf Kamadin examines the potentials of vertical farming.
Growing plants through hydroponics, otherwise known as vertical farming, is a system of growing crops indoors in large quantities. Unlike conventional method of farming that requires soil and large quantity of water, the technology only requires a fraction of the amount of water and nutrients for plants to survive. Although it requires technology, vertical farming allows farmers to monitor the temperature, humidity, and nutrient condition of plants to get the best productivity out of plants year-round.
So the yield is higher, the space occupied is little. The one you have seen, the total area is 25 feet by 140 feet. And yet we have planted tomato, we have planted 1,800 stands of cabbage and lettuce, and we have also planted the fodder for the cattle, only on 25 feet by 120.
No doubt, growing plants indoors in a controlled environment is capable of producing a wide range of fruits and vegetables only by topping up water and nutrients without natural daylight. In Ibadan, Abdul Kamaldeen, NTA News.
Meanwhile, a cross-section of Nigerians are dissatisfied with the slow pace of processing the electronic national identity card scheme, which began in 2012. Correspondent Kemi Oshin examines the issue in this report.
Reactions of some Nigerians to their experiences with the National Identity Card registration calls to question the handling of the exercise, which is to provide better interaction between citizens and government through the National ID card.
I think it was about 3 years and I got it almost 1 year later.
It's not free. We are paying 300 for it.
Registered in 2014 and I received the message this year by precisely May 23, 2017, that my national ID card is ready. According to what when I collected my own, they said the thing will expire 2020.
I registered 2 years ago, and I was told I would get a message from them after a while to get the original copy, and since then I've not gotten any message.
Coordinator, National Identity Management Commission, Oyo State, Mrs. Temitope Adewale, said although the card for those who registered between 2012 and 2013 July are available for collection, but every enrollee is given a temporary ID slip containing the national identification number, unique to each individual, pending the final processing.
We'll give them 2 slips, one for tracking ID, that will show that you have enrolled, the date you enrolled, the person that enrolled you, and something like that. Then the other one is your name, which is national identification number, and it's being collected for anything that you want to use.
Children are also expected to be registered on the scheme, but only those who have attained the age of 16 can collect the electronic ID card, which is expected to serve various purposes for holders. From Ibadan, Kemioshi, NTA News.
That's our offering from the cradle. It's over to you, Elizabeth, for more stories on Nationwide.
Thank you for tying Ibadan. Now, over 2,000 beneficiaries comprising men, women and children of Chachi village in Tafa local government area of Niger State have received medical intervention as well as food items and other essential commodities courtesy of Future Assured program of the wife of the President, Aisha Muhammadu Buhari. State House correspondent Aliu Kabir reports.
Of the president remains committed in touching lives of people comprising women, children and other less privileged members of the society. This time, Future Assured extended its activities to Chachi village in Tafa local government area of Niger State, which shares borders with Buhari Area Council of the FCT. Future Assured team engaged the Chachi community in the numbers of health program comprising health talk to creating awareness on how to use local items such as maize, groundnut and soya beans in producing nutritious food for their consumption to enhance their health, the importance of antenatal care and breastfeeding as well as deworming of children. The Future Assured coordinator, North Central Hafsatu Zanna, represented the wife of the president.
These are people that their lives needs to be touched in so many ways. For her to come here, they'll be so happy that at least they are being remembered.
The food items donated comprises rice, milk, sugar, anti-malaria drugs, cough syrup, and other essential commodities.
We are over happy. And
the legal advisor of Tafa local government area, Musa Chachi, alongside the village head, Musa Abubakar, and other beneficiaries, expressed their happiness with the gesture.
We have been hearing of empowerment of Aisha Buhari centers in all over, but it has not come to Chachi. It's a privilege, and we thank God that it's by His grace that we have that privilege.
In Chachi village of Tafa local government area, Aliu Kabir, NTA News.
Borno State government takes steps to control malaria. We'll link up now with Mohammed in Maiduguri for details of this and more.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Welcome to Maiduguri. The airlift of intending pilgrims for 2017 Hajj exercise from Borno will resume on Wednesday after a week's break. Here's an update on the Hajj exercise.
Airlift of intending pilgrims for this year's Hajj from Plateau State commenced on the 11th of August, while the second flight took off on Tuesday, the 15th of August. Since then, flight operations for the state pilgrims were suspended owing to airlift of other states, according to an official of the National Hajj Commission. According to Borno State Pilgrims Welfare Board, so far, 874 pilgrims have been airlifted to Saudi Arabia in 2 flights.
Inshallah, our third flight is coming off on Thursday, on Wednesday night. They will take off early morning of Thursday, that is 24th of August.
421 of those airlifted in the second flight, the Executive Secretary of the Pilgrims Welfare Board, Aja Ganabukar, says, are on their way to Mecca from Medina, while others are in Mecca with accommodation and 2 meals feeding per day. Arrangements has also been put in place for the provision of rams for Hadaya. Screening of pilgrims for the third flight starts Wednesday from 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and pilgrims have been enjoined not to carry kola nuts or drugs, which Saudi authorities are out to enforce. Activities at the Hajj camp Maiduguri is at its lowest, with only presence of security operatives and intending pilgrims from local government areas waiting for their turn to fly to Saudi Arabia.
Borno State government says it will continue to adopt proactive measures towards the fight against malaria and other diseases. The State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Haruna Mishelia, stated this while flagging off vector control in Shehuri north of Maiduguri metropolis. Abakar Mohamed Musa was there for NT News.
The fumigation of residential areas is a collaboration with Borno State Environmental Protection Agency, BOSEPA, explaining the effort the Ministry of Health is making towards ensuring a healthy environment in Borno. The Commissioner, Dr. Haruna Michelia, noted that the vector control exercise will be extended to all the accessible areas in Borno and charged the communities to cooperate with the theme. Director Environmental Health, BOSEPA, Saratu Bahausa, said the initiative is meant to curtail the spread of mosquitoes. Ward Head of Shauri North, Digma Zubeiru, assured of the traditional ruler support, describing the vector control program as a step in the right direction. In Maiduguri, Abubakar Muhammad Musa, NTA News.
That does it from this end. Nationwide continues in Abuja.
Thank you, Muhammad. Talking sports now, Nigeria rugby football